Close your eyes and picture the ruler of our world. Is it us? Not even close. The true sovereign of this planet reigns over a kingdom of perpetual twilight, a realm covering more than 70% of its surface. Imagine a creature longer than 3 school buses, with a heart the size of a car, its song a deep, resonant tremor that can cross entire oceans. This is the blue whale, the largest animal to have ever lived. A gentle, ancient monarch gliding through the silent blue. Its court is filled with nobles of equal majesty. The great white shark, a perfect predator honed by 400 million years of evolution, moving with a chilling grace that is nothing short of terrifyingly beautiful. And then there are the jesters, the thinkers, the socialites, the dolphins, whose clicks and whistles weave a tapestry of intelligence we are only just beginning to comprehend. For millennia, they have been the undisputed royalty of the sea. This is the ocean we think we know. The one from documentaries, from our childhood dreams. A vibrant, bustling metropolis of life, stable and eternal. But this image is a ghost. A beautiful, fading photograph of a world that is already gone. Even now, as we watch these cinematic shots of life in motion, a silent, invisible war is being waged in every drop of salt water. The rules of this ancient kingdom are being rewritten by an unseen hand. The very chemistry of the water is changing. The temperature is creeping upwards, and the foundations of this grand oceanic palace are beginning to crumble into dust. What happens when the world that created these magnificent rulers can no longer support them? What happens when the throne becomes a death sentence? Let's call this what it is, a crime scene. But there is no single culprit, no smoking gun. The assassins are everywhere and nowhere at once. Every day, the ocean breathes in a quarter of the carbon dioxide we pump into the atmosphere. It's been our planet's silent protector, but it is reaching its limit. This isn't just about the water getting a little warmer. It's about it turning sour. Ocean acidification is the slow, creeping villain of our story. Imagine the very water that gives life beginning to dissolve the shells of the creatures living within it. At the same time, a relentless fever takes hold, with marine heat waves bleaching vibrant coral cities into stark white graveyards. And through it all, a fine confetti of plastic, a toxic dust, rains down from our world above, choking, tangling, and poisoning from the plankton to the whale. The titans are the first to feel this change. They are not weak, but they are specialists, finely tuned instruments in a symphony that is now horribly out of key. The blue whale's immense size is sustained by countless tons of tiny krill, but these krill are struggling to survive in warmer, more acidic waters. As their food disappears, the giants begin to starve in an ocean of plenty. The shark's legendary senses, which can detect a single drop of blood from miles away, are being scrambled by the changing water chemistry, leaving it blind and confused in its own territory. The dolphins' complex social lives are being shattered as their food chains collapse and their homes. The coastal reefs and kelp forests wither and die. These aren't just animals in peril. They are dynasties on the verge of collapse, the last of their kind watching their world dissolve around them. And this is where the true horror begins. It's not the death of these animals that is the most terrifying part of this story. It's the silence they leave behind. Imagine a forest with no birdsong, a city with no traffic. Now imagine an ocean without the whale's song, without the shark's swift passage, without the dolphin's playful chatter. It is a profound, unnatural emptiness. An ecosystem is not just a collection of creatures. It's a web of interactions, a constant dance of hunter and hunted, life and death. When you remove the apex predators, the top-tier rulers, the entire structure begins to rot from the top down. This is the horror of the void. An empty throne waiting in the crushing dark, a power vacuum so immense it echoes through the very fabric of life on this planet. This brings us to the central mystery. That throne will not remain empty for long. Nature, as they say, abhors a vacuum. Life is relentless, opportunistic, and endlessly creative. The end of one dynasty is always the beginning of another. The stage is being cleared, the old kings and queens are being ushered into the fossil record, and a grand ecological audition is underway for the next rulers of the sea. But the candidates for this new world are not going to be the creatures we know and admire. The qualifications have changed. Strength, size, and even the intelligence we recognize may no longer be assets. The survivors of this new, hostile ocean will be creatures forged in a different kind of fire. So who will inherit this warming, souring, plastic-choked world? Who is waiting in the wings to claim the empty throne? The answer is far stranger and infinitely more ancient than you could possibly imagine. To find the next rulers of Earth's oceans, we must not look for smaller versions of the giants we are losing. We must look to the shadows, to the survivors of past apocalypses, to the simple, the gelatinous, and the weird. They have been waiting patiently in the deep for hundreds of millions of years for their moment to arrive. And our actions, our crime against the ocean, may have just handed them the keys to the kingdom. With the giants gone, a power vacuum is created. Who or what is waiting in the wings to claim the throne? The answer is stranger and far more ancient than you can imagine. Forget the roar of a predator or the song of a whale. The sound of this new conquest is silence. It's the gentle, rhythmic pulse of a billion bells of jelly, drifting on the currents. The first to answer the call of the empty throne is not a king, but a tide. A ghostly, gelatinous army that has been waiting patiently in the wings of the evolutionary stage for 500 million years. Meet the true survivors, the inheritors of our dying seas. The jellyfish. These creatures are masterpieces of minimalist design. They are over 95% water, with no brain, no bones, and no blood. They are, in essence, beautifully organized seawater. For eons, they have been a background player, a footnote in the grand story of the ocean. But the very conditions that are killing the titans are like a dinner bell for them. The rising temperatures. They accelerate jellyfish reproduction, turning their life cycles into a frantic, supercharged race. The creeping dead zones. Areas of the ocean with so little oxygen that fish suffocate. Jellyfish barely notice. Their simple metabolism allows them to thrive where others perish. The overfishing that has removed their predators and competitors. It's like clearing the board for a new player to dominate the game. This isn't a distant, theoretical future. It's happening right now, and it's called the gelatinous dawn. All over the world, we are seeing signs of this silent takeover. Imagine a fisherman casting his nets, hoping for a haul of fish, only to pull up 1,000 pounds of quivering, slimy biomass that bursts and tears the net. Picture a coastal power plant forced to shut down because its massive water intake pipes, designed to cool the reactors, have been utterly choked by a pulsating wall of jellyfish. Think of tourist beaches closed not because of sharks, but because the water has become a stinging, inescapable soup of countless millions of them. This is not an invasion. It's a reclamation. The ocean is reverting to an ancient, primordial state. Perhaps the most unnerving aspect of this new dynasty is its mindlessness. The great white shark hunts with purpose. The dolphin communicates with intent. There is a consciousness there, an intelligence we can, on some level, recognize. But the jellyfish? There is nothing behind those vacant bells. They conquer not through strategy, but through sheer, overwhelming numbers. They are a force of nature, like a flood or a fire, an emergent property of a system in collapse. Their horror is the horror of the automaton, a relentless, unthinking process that is methodically disassembling the complex, beautiful world we knew and replacing it with a simple, pulsating monotony. They are the ocean turning into a screensaver. And it's not just the jellyfish. They are merely the most visible soldiers in this new, simple army. In their wake, other ancient life forms are stirring. The very color of the ocean is beginning to change. Vast blooms of single-celled algae are turning swathes of the sea into a blood-red or murky green slick, visible from space. These tides are not just ugly. They are toxic, suffocating everything below them, poisoning shellfish and creating yet more of those oxygen-starved dead zones that their gelatinous allies love so much. In the deepest, darkest parts of the sea, near volcanic vents and in supersalty brine pools, extremophile microbes that have existed unchanged for billions of years are finding the wider ocean is becoming more and more to their liking. The world is becoming simpler, slimier. This new world order creates a terrifying ecological trap. Jellyfish are what biologists sometimes call a trophic dead end. They are voracious predators of plankton and the eggs and larvae of fish, wiping out the next generation of complex life before it can even begin. Yet very few things can eat them. They are a sinkhole in the food web, consuming the energy at the base of the pyramid and locking it away in their own gelatinous bodies, offering little back to the ecosystem. They don't just replace the old rulers. They actively salt the earth of the former kingdom, making it nearly impossible for the old nobility of fish, reptiles, and mammals to ever stage a comeback. They are the ultimate cosmic irony. Life that thrives by creating a world where only it can live. But is this the end of the story? Is the ultimate fate of our planet's oceans to become a lukewarm, quivering ball of jelly and microbial slime, endlessly pulsating under a hazy sun? A world without thought, without complexity, without drama? That seems too simple, too bleak for a planet as endlessly inventive as Earth. Nature rarely leaves a job half-finished. This gelatinous dawn, this great simplification, might not be the final act. Perhaps it is just the first. Perhaps it's just clearing the stage and setting the scene for an entirely new kind of evolution. While the surface turns to jelly, something far more intelligent, far more cunning, is stirring in the depths, seizing the opportunity this chaos has provided. But a world of just jellyfish and slime is too simple for a planet as creative as Earth. While the surface turns to jelly, something far more intelligent is stirring in the depths, seizing the opportunity we've given them. To find them, we must journey past the shimmering curtains of the gelatinous dawn, down into the crushing dark where the real contenders are waiting. They have been biding their time, ancient lineages that predate the dinosaurs, watching from the shadows. They are not fish, they are not mammals, they are something else entirely. They are the heirs apparent to the oceanic throne, the cephalopods, the octopus, the squid, the cuttlefish. Even today, they feel like visitors from another world. They are intelligent, yet utterly alien. Think about it. They are invertebrates, boneless wonders that can pour their bodies through any crack wider than their beak. They have 3 hearts, blue blood based on copper, and a nervous system so distributed that it's said an octopus's arm has a mind of its own. It is an intelligence born not of a centralized brain, but a committee of them. Is it any wonder that when we look into the eye of an octopus, we feel a profound sense of meeting a mind that is fundamentally, shockingly different from our own? This alien biology holds the secret to their impending reign. While mammals like us evolved over millions of years, painstakingly writing changes into the permanent ink of our DNA, cephalopods are masters of the quick edit. They possess a bizarre genetic superpower, the ability to massively edit their own RNA. In simple terms, this means they don't have to wait for generations to adapt. They can effectively rewrite their own biological software on the fly within their own lifetime to suit a changing environment. In a world of accelerating chaos, where the rules of survival are changing by the decade, this is not just an advantage. It is the ultimate evolutionary cheat code. Their short, explosive lives, live fast, die young, leave 1 million adaptable eggs, become their greatest strength. And what minds will this rapid evolution produce? We already see the startling glimmers today. We've watched octopuses solve complex puzzles, use coconut shells as mobile shelters, and express what looks uncannily like a mischievous personality as they squirt water at unsuspecting researchers. We've seen the incredible mimic octopus morph its body to impersonate lionfish and sea snakes. But what happens when that intelligence, supercharged by evolutionary pressure, begins to fill the void left by dolphins and whales? What happens when they move from simply solving puzzles to actively engineering their environment? Let's speculate. Imagine the descendants of the social, aggressive Humboldt squid, which already hunt in terrifyingly coordinated packs. Now picture them larger, faster, and smarter, having claimed the niche of the killer whale. They would be the new wolf packs of the abyssal plains. Instead of audible calls, they would communicate through silent, complex symphonies of light, their skin erupting in rippling waves of bioluminescence to coordinate attacks on the giant, sluggish jellyfish or even the slow-moving survivors of the fish world. They would be silent, ghost-like predators, their hunts a terrifyingly beautiful and deadly light show in the eternal dark. And what of the octopus, the solitary genius of the seafloor? Freed from the pressure of fish predators, they could begin to build. We've already seen them create small dens, called octopus gardens. But what comes next? Imagine entire cities of woven seafloor debris and hardened mucus, sprawling networks of tunnels and chambers. Picture them moving from simple tool use to active farming, cultivating specific algae, herding crabs into protected pens, becoming the first non-human engineers and agriculturalists on the planet. Their intelligence, no longer just a tool for survival, would become a tool for civilization building, a society of 8-armed architects and farmers. This is where the sense of wonder mixes with a deep, Lovecraftian unease. It is the alien nature of their consciousness that is so profoundly unsettling. A human, a dolphin, a dog. We can find common ground in social bonds and recognizable emotions. But what motivates a mind that is part brain, part arm? A consciousness that can taste with its skin and whose thoughts might manifest as shifting patterns of color? Their morality, their art, their society would be utterly inscrutable to us. Their rise would not be the dawn of a new intelligence we could communicate with, but the dawn of a new other, a thinking entity whose logic is as alien as the crushing pressure of the deep sea itself. These 8-armed heirs are poised to inherit the ocean, transforming it from a simple, gelatinous soup into a hotbed of alien intellect and rapid evolution. But nature is a game of escalation. As these new minds begin to conquer the ocean, the age-old dance of predator and prey accelerates to a terrifying new tempo. Evolution doesn't just create intelligence. It creates monsters to hunt it. And the new arms race, played by these new rules, will produce body plans and forms of life we have never, ever seen before. As these new cephalopod minds begin to conquer the ocean, the age-old dance of predator and prey accelerates to a terrifying new tempo. Evolution doesn't just create intelligence. It creates monsters to hunt it. But what if the next great evolutionary leap isn't about making a single organism smarter, faster, or stronger? What if the very idea of a single organism is a rule that's about to be broken? In the relentless arms race of this future ocean, evolution might find that the ultimate advantage isn't a bigger brain, but a bigger body, a body made of thousands or even millions of individuals working as one. The blueprint for this bizarre future already exists, drifting silently in our oceans today. It's called the siphonophore. You may have heard of its most famous member, the Portuguese man-o'-war, but that's just a tiny, simple example. In the deep sea, there are siphonophores that stretch for dozens of meters, like impossibly long, fragile glass sculptures. They look like a single creature, but they are not. They are a colony, a floating city of individual, specialized animals called zooids, all physically connected and working together. Some zooids form the gas-filled float, others become pulsating bells for propulsion. Some are stomachs for digesting prey, and others are stinging tentacles for the hunt. It is a superorganism, a collective being. Now, imagine this concept let off its evolutionary leash in an ocean free of its old constraints. Picture a siphonophore that is no longer a delicate glass sculpture, but a biological leviathan. A superorganism that doesn't just stretch for meters, but for miles. A living, breathing net of organic machinery, drifting through the twilight zone, a single, unified entity the size of a mountain range. Parts of it might evolve to become vast, living sails to catch the deep-sea currents. Other sections could become immense, tangled forests of feeding tentacles, while specialized zooids within the colony could function as bioluminescent lures, pulsing in hypnotic patterns to draw in the new 8-armed hunters. The mystery of such a creature would be profound and terrifying. Where does the I reside? Does any single zooid have a consciousness, or is it merely a cog in a machine, a cell in a body? Or does a new, higher-level consciousness emerge from the interaction of all its parts? It would be both a predator and its own ecosystem, a living island upon which other life forms might take root, a nation-state of flesh that redefines the very meaning of life. The horror here is not of being eaten, but of being utterly dwarfed, of being confronted with a form of life so colossal and so alien in its basic structure that it challenges our fundamental understanding of what it means to be an individual. But physical connection isn't the only path to unity. What about a mind without a body? The The future ocean will be teeming with smaller creatures. Swarms of crustaceans, seas of worms, clouds of genetically engineered plankton, all thriving in the nutrient-rich soup. In our world, we see swarm intelligence in ant colonies and beehives. Now, imagine that concept taken to its oceanic extreme. Picture a swarm of 1 billion krill-like creatures that, through some advanced form of chemical signaling or light communication, achieves a shared consciousness. It would not be a superorganism, but a supermind, a liquid brain, a sentient cloud that could change its shape and density at will. This swarm mind could flow and think, acting as one distributed being. It could solve problems, react to threats, and perhaps even develop a culture of its own. Its thoughts written in the ephemeral language of ripples and flashes of light. It could form dense, solid walls to block predators or dissipate into a harmless-looking cloud to evade them. What would it be like to hunt such a thing? How do you kill a creature that is both everywhere and nowhere at once? The very act of attacking it might feel like trying to punch water. Its intelligence would be a ghost in the machine, an emergent property of 1 billion tiny, mindless bodies working in perfect, terrifying unison. These new biological titans, the city-sized colonies and the liquid intelligences, are rewriting the rules of what it means to be alive. They are the ultimate expression of cooperation, taking the concept to a scale that is simply unfathomable to us, the solitary individuals. They become the new grazers, the new filter feeders, the new landscape of the future ocean. They are the mountains and the weather of this alien world. But in this strange and terrifying new ecosystem, one law of nature is absolute and eternal. There is always a bigger fish. So what sits at the very top of this new, horrifying food web? What could possibly hunt a living island or outwit a liquid brain? These new biological titans, the city-sized colonies and the liquid intelligences, are rewriting the rules of what it means to be alive. They become the new landscape of the future ocean, the grazers and the forests of this bizarre new world. But in this strange and terrifying ecosystem, one law of nature is absolute and eternal. There is always a bigger fish. So what sits at the very top of this new, horrifying food web? What kind of predator could possibly hunt a living island or outwit a liquid brain? The answer could not be a mere monster. It had to be something more. It had to be a god. The genesis of this new ruler began with the same lineage that produced the quick-thinking squids and city-building octopuses. It sprang from the cephalopods, but it took a darker, more solitary path. While its cousins pursued intelligence through speed, society, and wit, this one pursued power through sheer, uncompromising dominance. It sacrificed speed for impenetrability, social bonds for solitary supremacy. It did not seek to outwit its prey. It sought to become an unmovable, unstoppable force of nature, an engine of destruction perfectly tooled for this new, bizarre world. It became the ocean's living battleship. Imagine a descendant of the cuttlefish, but one that has swollen to the size of a small whale. Its most revolutionary adaptation is its defense. The cuttlebone, that fragile, porous internal shell, has undergone a radical transformation. It has moved outside, expanding and hardening into a series of massive, interlocking plates of iridescent armor that cover its entire mantle. Forged from calcium carbonate and chitin, this shell is a fortress, completely impervious to the stinging cells of the colonial giants and the abrasive attacks of the swarming masses. It glides through the deep, a silent, armored cathedral of flesh, shimmering with an unholy light. But this armor is not just for defense. It is a weapon. The creature's entire skin, layered over the plates, retains the legendary chromatophores of its ancestors. But they have evolved into something terrifying. This is not for camouflage. It is for psychological warfare. It can unleash a barrage of blinding, strobe-like pulses of bioluminescence, a disorienting, chaotic light show that flickers too fast for any complex eye to track. Against the simple, networked nervous systems of the colonial siphonophores, this attack is devastating. It's a neurological bomb, causing the colony to lose cohesion, its parts spasming in confusion, its unified purpose shattered into a million panicked signals. The living island tears itself apart before the hunt has even truly begun. When the prey is disoriented and vulnerable, the true weapons are deployed. 2 of its 8 arms have evolved into something entirely new. They are longer, thicker, and tipped not with suckers, but with harpoons of sharpened, blackened chitin, dense as stone. These are not tentacles for grabbing. They are ballistic projectiles. With terrifying speed, it launches these harpoons into the soft, unresisting flesh of the colony or into the dense heart of a thinking swarm. The tips pierce deep, but the kill comes from what follows. The creature pumps powerful digestive enzymes directly through the harpoons, dissolving its prey from the inside out, turning the very substance of the superorganism into a nutrient slurry that it can then draw back and consume. Witness the hunt. The armored leviathan approaches the mile-long, drifting siphonophore, a creature that is, by all rights, a god of this new ocean. It does not attack with fury or rage, but with cold, calculated precision. First comes the light, the symphony of chaos that turns the colony against itself. Then, the silent, impossibly fast launch of the twin harpoons, striking the central nerve clusters or digestive zooids. The hunt is over in minutes, but the feeding can last for days. The apex predator latches on, a monstrous parasite draining the life from a creature the size of a skyscraper, an avatar of death feeding on a god of life. It is the ultimate expression of evolutionary power, a tyrant perfectly designed to dominate a world of monsters. This is the apex of the future, the final word in this new oceanic arms race. Its intelligence is not like the playful curiosity of a dolphin or the frantic cleverness of an octopus. It is a cold, ancient, and patient intellect. Its thoughts are as slow and immense as the deep-sea currents, its decisions calculated over hours, not seconds. It is the solitary king of a world it has mastered, a creature whose existence is a testament to the brutal creativity of evolution. It is a being of pure awe and pure terror, the majestic and horrifying new ruler of the sea. This is the world that awaits, an ocean of monsters and alien wonders, born from the world we are unmaking. A world crowned by this silent, armored god. Its existence leads to one final, chilling question that brings us back from the abyss to the world of today. In this new ocean that we are creating, this kingdom of living islands and thinking swarms, ruled by a thinking battleship, is there any room left for us? This is the world that awaits, an ocean of monsters and alien wonders, born from the world we are unmaking. A world crowned by a silent, armored god. Its existence leads to one final, chilling question that brings us back from the abyss to the present day. In this new ocean that we are creating, this kingdom of living islands and thinking swarms, is there any room left for us? The answer is simple and profoundly terrifying: no. There is no room for us. We are the architects of this new world, and we are also its first and most guaranteed casualty. Look at the traits of the survivors we have witnessed. The jellyfish with its simple needs and tolerance for poison. The cephalopod with its rapid RNA editing, a biological cheat code for accelerated evolution. The colonial superorganism which abandoned the individual for the strength of the collective. What is the common thread? It is the power of rapid, radical adaptation. They are life forms designed for chaos. And what are we? We are the opposite. We are creatures of stability. Our intelligence, our civilization, our very biology is predicated on a predictable world, a stable climate, a reliable food chain. Our greatest strength, our complex planning brain, is tied to an ecosystem that we ourselves have sentenced to death. We are slow breeders, locked into the ponderous timescale of DNA-based evolution. It took us millions of years to get here. We do not have millions of years to adapt to the world we are creating in mere centuries. Our intelligence allowed us to bend the old world to our will, to build a global civilization that insulated us from nature. But we did not defeat nature. We only angered it. And in this new world, our old advantages become our fatal flaws. Our cities, our farms, our intricate supply chains, they are all glass houses in the path of a hurricane. The intelligence that built the modern world is utterly useless in a world where the fundamental rules of chemistry and biology have been rewritten. And so, the lens of our story pulls back, away from the future monsters, to a haunting and familiar silence. The camera pans over the submerged ruins of New York City. The torch of the Statue of Liberty is encrusted with a pulsating, bioluminescent fungus. The canyons of glass and steel have become vertical reefs, home to species of armored worms and glass-like anemones that never knew the sun. In the silent, flooded halls of our museums, the skeletons of the old titans, the dinosaurs, are now draped in the slime of the new ones. Our civilization becomes nothing more than a substrate, an interesting new texture for life to colonize. Our greatest monuments become convenient anchor points for the new world's creatures. This is the ultimate quiet horror. Not the tooth and claw of a predator, not the alien mind of an octopus, but the simple, profound horror of absence. Our story ends not with a bang, but with the gentle, lapping sound of an alien tide against our rusting monuments. We are not conquered, we are simply rendered obsolete. We become a geological curiosity, a thin layer of plastic, concrete, and radioactive isotopes in the planet's strata, the Anthropocene layer. A brief, puzzling scar in the rock for the next intelligent life, whatever form it may take, to ponder millions of years from now. They might marvel at our hubris, the strange story of a species that built a world it could not survive in. Life will go on. That is the one breathtaking certainty. The earth does not need us. The ocean does not need us. Life itself, in its relentless, immoral, and creative drive, will simply rout around the damage we caused. It will treat our extinction as just another extinction event, an interesting evolutionary bottleneck that spurred a new explosion of bizarre and wonderful forms. The planet will heal. The oceans will find a new equilibrium. But the world that emerges will be utterly alien to us, a paradise for monsters. The ocean will not die. It will be reborn. We are merely the ashes from which that new phoenix will rise. So, as we stare into this speculative abyss, this vision of an ocean without us, the final takeaway is not one of despair, but of profound and urgent responsibility. This future is not yet written in stone. The ghostly jellyfish blooms, the acidification, the warming, these are not prophecies, they are warnings. They are the first faint sketches of a masterpiece of horror that we are still in the process of painting. The journey we've taken to this alien future is a journey into a mirror. The monsters we've witnessed are our own children, and the silence of our own extinction is the price of our inaction. The final image is that of our planet, hanging in the blackness of space. A beautiful blue marble, with a creeping, alien sickness that only one species can see, and only one species can stop.